Good afternoon from Euston. Today I am doing the London Overground to Watford Junction.
This is a security message. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
Just live departures and arrivals. Our train departs from platform 9. I tried doing this yesterday, but trains between here and Willesden Junction were cancelled due to a broken down Bakerloo Line train at Kensal Green. Time to make our way to the platform and wait for our train. (390.046), probably about to depart for, yeah, it's about to depart for Wolverhampton. All platforms remain empty. Over here, platforms 8, 9, 10 and 11.
Travel with confidence. Please be considerate of other passengers and our railway colleagues. In crowded
There are 390 for Manchester departs.
discovering how to respect for others.
This train has just arrived. This is a 8-car class 350. I believe it's a class 350-2 because of you notice the 5 abreast configuration inside the train in economy. No London Overground trains just yet. This train consists of 350-263 and 350-264. I believe it arrived from Northampton, seeing how it has 12 carriages rather than 8. 350-263, 350-264. Just gonna see who it is on the rear. And there's our train. Trains that travel that go to Birmingham New Street via Northampton will crew via Wealdstone. Usually have 8 carriages. At the rear is, over here is 350-240. The train is now approaching. Our train for today is 710-272. Formed of 4 carriages. Please wear a face covering. Those travelling on Avanti West Coast are advised that train doors will close 2 minutes before departure. There goes the 1420 Avanti West Coast service to Wolverhampton, departing from platform 7. Euston, train terminates here. today's the 24th of October 2021. These Class 7 trains were delivered to London Overground in around 2018. I think they currently run on the Gospel Oak to Barking and Watford DC lines. Probably they're replacing the Class 315s and Class 317s that operated on the Lee Valley lines from 2015, taken over from Greater Anglia in 2015. Here comes a Class 350, a 350-2, I think. Could be a 350-3. Yep, it is a 350-3. Just arrived from Tring. They are to also operate on the Romford to Upminster branch lane.
Watford Junction.
Coaches. Might have to watch out for short platforms at a few stations. Yesterday I did London Northwestern from here to Watford Junction. It was non-stop. The train continued onwards to Milton Keynes and Northampton. There's the overground map. The same might be for King's Cross Station, where on LNER, Grand Central and Hull trains, doors close 2 minutes before departure.
This is the train to Watford
Watford Junction.
You get some under-seat storage where you can store your things underneath the seats.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thankfully I didn't bring my scooter today because it would be a lot worse. We're not ready to depart just yet. That found us to 14:28 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central departing. We're ready to... not just yet. It's now 2:28.
Yeah, go. This is the train to Watford Junction.
There goes the assistance team. A London Northwestern Class 350 is arriving from Crewe or Birmingham. Okay, we're not departing. Okay, now it's time to go. First stop on this 1 hour journey to Hampstead, where you can change for the Jubilee line from Cottage.
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, South Hampstead.
390-002 over there.
You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
And there is 390-126 pulling into Euston. District line part suspended, Hammersmith line. Thankfully the Piccadilly has good service, which means I can go to Heathrow, whether it's by the Piccadilly line or TfL rail. Sometimes using the Heathrow Express, which costs at least £25 for a one-way ticket. Change for London Underground Jubilee line from Swiss Cottage. Just exited the tunnel. Above us is the Chiltern Main Line.
Watford Junction.
Yeah, nobody's getting on or off here. Onwards to our next stop, Kilburn High Road.
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Kilburn High Road.
Sometimes the Bakerloo Line comes to Kilburn High Road to reverse before continuing up north to Harrow and Wealdstone. This is provided if there are engineering works south of Queen's Park down to Elephant and Castle or somewhere like that.
Next station, Kilburn High Road.
Will be overtaken by lots of Avanti West Coast and London Northwestern Railway trains. Starting off with the 1433 to Northampton.
Yeah, I can give you a hand here.
Kilburn High Road. This is the train to Watford Junction.
Right here, the speed limit for the slow trains on the West Coast Main Line is 75 miles per hour. Whilst the faster trains is about 80 miles per hour, or maybe 85, I'm not too sure.
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Queen's Park. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Change here for Bakerloo Line services. Next station, Queen's Park.
First time on the West Coast Main Line.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
In like over 5 months. Because I did the Bakerloo Line back in May. I think that train's terminating here. The next train will be in 5 minutes. That there is the 1433 London Northwestern Railway service to Northampton. That train's continuing onwards towards the depot.
Queen's Park. This is the train to Watford Junction.
Then we'll be overtaken by the 1437 Avanti West Coast service to Manchester Piccadilly. Then the 1440 to...
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Kensal Green.
Then the 1440 to Preston via Birmingham New Street. Then onwards to Carlisle and Glasgow or Edinburgh. Some Class 378 may still run on this route.
Next station, Kensal Green. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
This is a Bakerloo Line train to Oakham and Castle.
Kensal Green. This is the train to Watford Junction. Wealdstone Junction. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Change here for Bakerloo Line and London Overground lines.
Specifically to Clapham Junction, Richmond and Stratford. Passing the former East Midlands Railway HST power cars.
Next station, Wealdstone Junction. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Wealdstone Junction. This is the train to Watford Junction. This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Harrow.
Yeah, that there is the 1437 to Manchester.
Exit for Central Middlesex Hospital.
Does it say that on the Bakerloo line? Free Wi-Fi is available on this train.
Next station, Harrow.
I definitely need a haircut.
Harrow. This is the train to Watford Junction. Watford Junction. Next station, Stonebridge Park. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
You know, there's Wembley Stadium. It's the Royal Mail depot near Stonebridge Park, where you can see a couple of Class 325 trains.
Next station, Stonebridge Park. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
This is where some Bakerloo Line trains terminate.
Stonebridge Park. This is the train to Watford Junction.
Thankfully, the Class 710s and Class 345 have USB ports. A Bakerloo Line train from Harrow and Wealdstone to Elephant and Castle. So, if I do a full journey on the Class 710 or 345, such as Paddington to Heathrow Airport, then I'm going to have to sit at the front or the back of the train. I highly doubt that Heathrow Express has power ports, like USB power ports or plug sockets. You can travel on it for free between Terminal 5 and Terminals 2 and 3.
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Wembley Central. Change here for National Rail Services. Exit for the National Stadium and Wembley Arena.
Não, mas eu lá no aniversário do carro, né? Você comprou o carro e já saiu do carro? Eu disse, eles vão estar no aniversário, vou deixar na casa do pai dela e vou de volta.
I haven't tried using my bank card between Terminal 5 and Terminals 2 and 3 because you can use your Oyster cards. You can use your Oyster card for free only between Terminal 5 and Terminals 2 and 3 at Heathrow Airport. Jeff Marshall tested it once.
Next station, Wembley Central. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Wembley Central. This is the train to Watford Junction. train to Watford Junction. Next station, North Wembley.
I saw 352, 261 at the rear.
You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
I couldn't see what that train was at the front. It was definitely class 350. I couldn't see the numbers, like 120 or 369.
Next station, North Wembley. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
But hello, are you not hearing what they said about me, bro? Do you hear what they said about me, bro? That I jump off the free every fucking weekend to just be ahead. The hell? Like I don't have a job and I don't work every weekend. And I palm my child.
North Wembley. This is the train to Watford Junction.
Last time we checked, I checked for your captain's in on it, so what happened?
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, South Kenton.
No, you lot just see when she breathes. Exactly. Because let's not get into this.
It was definitely an 11-car class 390 going into Euston.
Next station, South Kenton.
Back in June, they did a non-stop
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
non-stop all the way from London Euston to Glasgow Central, which didn't stop at any stations.
South Kent. This is the train to Watford Junction. This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Kenton.
I imagine that there should be like step-free access.
You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
At South Kenton, there should be step-free access. Change here for London Underground Metropolitan Line from Norfolk Park.
Next station, Kenton.
Change here for London Underground Metropolitan Line
Mind the
from
gap
Norfolk
between
Park.
the train and the platform.
another Class 390 going south to Euston.
This is the train to Watford Junction. This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Harrow and Wealdstone. Change here for National Rail Services. Next station, Harrow and Wealdstone.
39157. Train 9 travelled on from Stoke-on-Trent to Euston back in October last year. It's been exactly 1 year since I travelled with Avanti from Euston to Alton Showers. Welcome to Harrow and Wealdstone.
Harrow and Wealdstone. This is the train to Watford Junction. This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Headstone Lane.
Bakerloo Line train deciding about to return to
You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
There is a Class 378. Thankfully they still run this route.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
I know that was an 11-car train.
Headstone Lane. This is the train to Watford Junction. This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Harrow. Next station, Harrow. This is the train to Watford Junction.
Carpenter's Park might have step-free access as well. If it doesn't, then it should.
Next station, Carpenter's Park. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
At 3:52:36. And 3:54:08 heading to Milton Keynes. Couldn't see who that was in the middle because of that class 390. Formed of 12 coaches.
Station, Carpenter's Park. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Watford Junction.
No, I don't see any lifts here, so they should install one here.
This is the train to Watford Junction.
Maybe there is a lift, but it's inside the station building.
Next station, Bushy. Change here for National Rail Services.
Yeah, if you are in a hurry and you want to get to Watford Junction from London Euston or vice versa, then take London Northwestern Railway. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. London Northwestern Railway only accepts Oyster cards and bank cards at London Euston, Wembley Central, Harrow and Wealdstone, Bushy and Watford Junction.
Bushy. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. This is the train to Watford Junction.
We'll be away from the West Coast Main Line for like 5 minutes. We'll rejoin at our final stop, Watford Junction.
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Watford High Street. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Watford High Street. This is the train to Watford Junction.
I think you should arrive at the station at least 5 minutes before your train departs. That way you have plenty of time.
This is the train to Watford Junction. Next station, Watford Junction. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Change here for National Rail Services.
I don't think there's going to be any room for a lift at Watford High Street. There goes the automatic warning system, or AWS, which is common on all UK trains, diesel and electric only, but no steam trains. For steam trains, I assume that they should slow down when they see a yellow signal and then stop at the red signal.
Next station, Watford Junction, where this train terminates. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. This is an important security announcement. Please keep your luggage and personal belongings with you at all times. Unattended items may be removed and destroyed without warning. Please report any suspicious behaviour and unattended items to a member of staff or a police officer. Thank you for your assistance.
We arrive into platform 1. Over there is a Southern Class 377 bound for East Croydon, or maybe even Clapham Junction.
Watford Junction. This train terminates here.
There goes 390-045 to London Euston. Forgot to mention it's very chilly up here, so you might want to bring a coat with you if it's like extremely cold. I brought mine just in case. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video in London Overground.